Hello, and welcome back to another episode of I'm Free Now What with me, Michelle Fortier. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Florida, and today's topic is going to be consent. So, part of this channel is to address issues that are more likely to get people involved with the criminal justice system. And one of these things is sexual assaults. And now I've seen people in the prison system when I worked there that were there for sexual assaults. And I would try to give them information about how to avoid sexually assaulting people in the future. You know, it's this crazy thing, don't sexually assault people. So one of the things that people had a difficult time with that I have found is the topic of consent. So I'm going to go over today what is consent in terms of sexual behaviors. So some people believe that somebody not outright saying no is consent, that it is implied consent. I am here to tell you that the only consent that is a valid consent is if somebody says yes emphatically, not just like yeah, yes, or any of those like I guess. That is not consent. Consent is somebody saying yes, this is great, absolutely, by you asking if your behavior is wanted. I have seen individuals in the prison system where I have one in particular that he had sex with somebody that was sleeping, and she had not been wearing any clothes, and he took it that not wearing clothes and sleeping was consent. No matter how much we would tell him that is not consent, he still insisted that that was consent. So, once again, unless somebody says yes, it is a no. You do not want to be the person that they have a bad story about. So, what is true consent? If you are taking a partner to the middle of nowhere and then asking for sex, that is not true consent. The person has no ability to get away from you. They are going to be afraid that you are going to harm them if they say no, or that you will leave them stranded. That is not true consent. If you think that is true consent, we have to have a big conversation. You are setting up a person to believe that they have no out. That is not consent. Consent is, once again, that a person has the opportunity to either say yes or no without there being potential negative ramifications if they say no. You putting pressure on somebody to say yes means that they are not giving their consent freely. Once again, I want everybody to be able to have positive experiences when they're expressing their sexual behaviors and not feel like they were somehow pushed into it, made to feel like they had no choice. So that is one part of consent. Another part of consent is age. If you are over the age of 18 and your sexual partner is below the age of 18, you cannot give consent. There is no justification of saying, well, they really wanted it. It does not matter. In the state of Florida, an adult cannot have sex with a minor. That is the law. If you believe that you are above the law, you will get in trouble. There is no such thing as a Romeo and Juliet thing in the state of Florida. I have seen parents that have gotten really ticked off that their 15-year-old daughter is having sex with somebody that is 18 years old. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, 3 years, not that big of a deal. But at the same time, it is against the law. That 15-year-old cannot consent to having sex with an 18-year-old. And I'm also a little tired of adults thinking that they can have sex with a 14-year-old because they are mature enough. They cannot fully give consent because you are an adult, they are a child. You have more power than they do. So therefore, because of that power differential, they cannot say yes to sexual behaviors, not with somebody that is an adult. So, consent, emphatic yes You have given that person the ability to say no safely, that they have no fear that you will harm them or leave them in an isolated place. If you are taking somebody to an isolated place, you cannot expect that you are going to freely get consent. That is not how it goes. Once again, you cannot ask for sex from somebody that is under the age of 18. A woman or a man, a partner, a potential sexual partner being naked does not imply consent. The only thing that implies consent is yes. A big fat yes. Not a hemming and hawing. There is no, she really wanted it, she was just afraid to say yes. If you believe that, pick a more mature partner that is going to be able to be comfortable enough with their sexuality that they can emphatically say yes when you are offering sexual intercourse or sexual behaviors with them. If you are going to be putting pressure on somebody because you believe that they actually really want it and that it's a game that they're saying no, find somebody that's not playing a game. Your freedom is more important than you having some sex. And you also want to be a high note in that person's life, not one that they look back on with regret, sadness, and anger because if you don't have consent, that's called rape. You don't want to be a rapist. If you do want to be a rapist, there is help for you out there, and you need to go about seeking that help because wanting to be a rapist is not a very healthy way to express your sexuality. If you have any questions or concerns or any comments about this video, please leave them in the comments section. I do try to answer any questions or concerns. If you need help for your predilection of wanting to rape people, there is help out there, and you can get help for that because once again, that right there is going to lead you to prison, which most people don't want to go to. If you want to go, that's another conversation. Probably find somebody to talk to about that as well. And like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you need resources to get help for your desire to rape people, hit me up on Instagram. My contact information is in the About section below. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. And I wish you the best of mental health, and I wish you the most out of your life, and I wish you freedom. Take care.